And welcome into this edition of ACAP Today for the week of March 27, 2023. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. On this week's edition of ACAP Today, we're going to speak with 3 ACAP team members about food insecurity challenges in Aroostook County. We're going to sort of put it in the context of what we've heard recently through the media about the SNAP benefit that was issued and extended and increased through the pandemic that was recently for some households. We'll hear about that, what the impact is in Aroostook County, and what resources are available for those who are facing food insecurity at this time. We'll do that in just a few moments, but before we get to that, we're first going to get to the news and information that you can use, and that's again for the week of March 27th. 2023. And we begin in the news and information that you can use with this. As you've been hearing on ACAP Today, ACAP has vacated the One Edgemont Drive building while a contractor prepares to take over that space to construct a supportive housing unit, a 13-unit supportive housing complex with the future home of the new Hope and Prosperity Resource Center. So in the meantime, ACAP's administrative offices and finance offices, which were located in that building, and the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center, which will return to that building, have relocated to 480 Main Street in Presque Isle. For those of you who have been here for a while, that's the former KeyBank building in Presque Isle, current Vision Care of Maine building. We're on the 2nd and 4th floors in that building, and we invite you to visit us at any time. We are also letting folks know, as it relates to the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center, that we continue to take volunteer organizations and others who would like to donate meals for the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center. There are between 20 and 30 individuals experiencing homelessness or housing insecurity that access those services every day, and we feed them lunch and snacks, and we would certainly appreciate any support in doing that. In our new location, 80 Main Street, we now have an on-stove site, so if you need to bring something here that we need to heat up in the oven, certainly do that as well. So those amenities have increased, and when we return to the One Edgemont Drive location a year from now, there will be a commercial kitchen there, so we will be able to much better help serve individuals there. But as a reminder, if you are signed up for the meal train, you are now bringing your dishes for the foreseeable future to 480 Main Street as opposed to One Edgemont Drive. 480 Main Street being the temporary home of the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center, and that's on the 2nd floor of that building. So reminding folks that ACAP is in the process to host 2 feedback community informational sessions where we're seeking feedback or focus groups in the county with people. Specific barriers and concerns are addressed as it relates to expansion and connection of broadband. The focus groups will be between an hour and an hour and a half, and it'll have a facilitator and be only up to 12 people in the focus groups. ACAP can support mileage and other transportation reimbursement for participation. Food and beverages will be provided at this event, and a small stipend may be offered as requested. There'll also be, if you're unable to attend, an in-person virtual focus group. That one will be held on March 28th at 2 p.m. via Zoom. The in-person group will be held on April 3rd at ACAP's Customer Service Center at 771 Main Street. That's near Walmart in Presque Isle at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If you would like to participate, are willing and available in either the virtual or the in-person format, please contact Kim Garrett-Michaud here at ACAP. Her information is right there on your screen. We move on now to a message from our prevention team here at ACAP, reminding folks, especially folks aged 18 to 30 currently living in Maine, to please take the Maine Young Adult Survey. The Maine Center for Disease Control and Prevention is partnering with Public Health Consulting Group to administer a health survey for Maine's 18. It's an anonymous survey, and they're gathering information to help guide prevention and intervention programs around substance use and mental health here in Maine. Participants who are eligible will complete a 20-minute online survey and will be provided a $10 Amazon electronic gift card for their efforts. The survey is live through middle of this week, or all through Thursday of this week, March 30th. You can go to www.maineseow.com/YAS for Young Adult Survey. And ACAP is reminding folks that we do have experience in career counseling, workforce development services available that serve both job seekers and employers countywide. So if you're a job seeker or an employer and would like these services, which include education, workplace readiness, on-the-job training, high school equivalency assistance, paid work experience for individuals who are trying to get into a career, leadership training. Also available are things like childcare assistance, travel assistance, and of course, help signing up for healthcare coverage. You can call us here at ACAP at 764-3721, email us at info@acap-me.org, or find out more information at acap-me.org. or the workforce development section of the website. And of those work experience opportunities, I just want to take a moment to make special note of two that do provide stipends for folks experience, and the other one being on-the-job training. Both are ways to get into a place of employment or into a career field. Please contact us again at 764-3721 to learn more about either of these two opportunities. And we're continuing to talk about, as temperatures hopefully will start to nudge up, it's springtime, heating assistance. Now is an excellent time if you have not applied since last July or haven't in a number of years for the Home Energy Assistance Program. Now is an ideal time to apply. There are actually very few appointments scheduled this time of year, so we're able to see you oftentimes within the same week, sometimes interview you over the phone or in person, even on the same day. So if you 1 month's income guidelines there, you've had a change in your income or have expenses out of pocket, such as medical expenses, those overall income qualification guidelines, please reach out and contact us for a Home Energy Assistance Program appointment. If well is below your income qualification, folks to reach out to us. The Winter Energy Relief Program, those payments continue to be made available. We have up to 1,460 Aroostook County households that'll be able to benefit from this, with the income qualification guidelines there that are about 300% of the federal poverty guidelines. So example, a couple that makes under $54,930 cumulatively is eligible for this program. Give us a call at 764-3721. We will be at trade shows in Madawaska and in Houlton in the coming months, and we'll be signing people up on the spot for these winter energy relief payments if they are eligible. Give what you can, take what you need is the principle of our community closet outside of ACAP 771 Main Street office, and it's available to anyone in need 24/7. That includes dropping off clothing items and picking up clothing items that might be needed. Warmer clothing like this, although we're heading into the spring months, are certainly appreciated to help keep people warm. And certainly if you are coming during the day and are available to come into the office, we much prefer that you drop off clothes in our office so it can be sorted by members of our team and community volunteers before it goes out into the community closet. And Saturday, April 22nd, looking ahead here, is the Drug Enforcement Agency's National Take Back Day. ACAP's prevention team does partner and participate with police departments across Aroostook County and some select pharmacies that do regular drop-off opportunities. But on Saturday, we're reminding folks as that day comes near that if you have unused or unwanted medications anywhere in your home, please do bring them back. You can do it anytime at an Aroostook County Police Department and to some select pharmacies during their open hours. But just a reminder as we head into this twice a year day, there's a spring day and a fall day for drug take back days. COVID-19 vaccines and tests continue to be available to folks. Go to maine.gov/COVID-19/vaccines for information on where you can get a vaccination. Free tests are available. Test kits are available through covidtest.gov and accesscovidtest.org. They recycle those on a regular basis. So if you've gotten some a couple of months ago, your household may be eligible yet again. There are also some available at ACAP 771 Main Street Presque Isle office, the customer service center, as well as our Houlton, Fort Kent, and Madawaska offices. And finally, if you are in need of any assistance at this time, and we haven't covered it in this week's edition of ACAP Today's news and information you can use, please do give us a call at 764-3721. We do have navigators that can help connect our team, connect through with programs and services within our agency and those outside of our agency and partner agencies across Aroostook County. So give us a call, 3721. And that's this week's news and information that you can use. I'm so pleased to welcome now to ACAP Today a couple of ACAP's coaches here in the agency. They are Michele Clark, who Care and Education Center, and Kiley Pelletier, who is embedded as a team member at our Birch Street Community Center location in partnership with the Presque Isle Housing Authority, where we have a couple of classrooms. Michele and Kiley, welcome to ACAP Today.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
And I'm also so pleased to be joined this week by Rachelle Roy. Rachelle is a coordinator of programs here at the agency, and among the programs she oversees, in addition to oral health, are those nutrition-related programs, and certainly a very timely topic to be talking with nutrition about, Rachelle, as folks are experiencing probably one of the more acute food insecurity challenges, I would dare say, since the start of the pandemic, when additional programs came up. So great to have you as well, Rachelle.
Thank you, Jason.
All right, so Kiley, I'm going to begin with you because I know that you've been working with a lot of families, both at Birch Street and some families that you work with outside of that, and people are really feeling the pinch about this rollback in pandemic era SNAP benefits. Talk about.
So right now what's happening is they're going through everybody's applications or everybody's accounts and taking them off food stamps if they haven't done their recertification. So that's what I've seen happening. People are losing food stamps left and right, which is making them call me to find other resources to get food for that day. So just make sure people are doing that and going on to their My Main Connection and making sure that everything's up to date in there. And then the max benefit is not what people are getting anymore, which is what they've gotten the whole time during COVID. So that's really affecting people too, because they were used to that extra income with, for their food, they could buy what they wanted. And now they have to go back to like really sticking to a budget. So that's what I've seen.
Kiley, sticking to that budget must be harder than ever with the inflationary cost factors that are impacting the cost of food. So what you could have bought a couple of years ago at the start of the pandemic, before the inflation situation and food increase in food prices got to what it would be, certainly isn't what you can buy now, and now the benefit is decreased. Is it that, Kiley, is it just decreased, or are there households that you've heard of that have lost the benefit altogether?
Some people have lost it altogether, but that's just because they're having everybody do their recertification right now, since the state of emergency is done, I guess. So, but it's going back to what it was before COVID. So it's something that they should be used to, the amount, but it's just a big change because it's been going on for quite a while now. So.
And Michele, what are you hearing from your families up in the Caribou, Van Buren, Limestone area that you
Well, so far it's been pretty quiet over here. I've experienced it with a few families that have reached out, just trying to budget, make sure they go into their My Main Connection or call DHHS, and helping them with their paperwork if they need it, and sending them to the local food pantries.
And talk about My Main Connection for a minute, because Kiley was mentioning that as well. That's where folks go to keep their information updated, which then in turn impacts what they might receive for SNAP and potentially other benefits. Help explain that to folks.
Yes, instead of having to call to get all your paperwork done, you can go right onto My Main Connection to fill out your information and make sure everything is up to date. It beats having to hold, or the difficulty in getting a hold of anyone at their office makes it much quicker and easier.
Now, Kiley, seeing is just need to go on My Main Connection, and there's some adjustment that may be forthcoming as a result of that maybe doesn't make this reduction so bad in some cases.
I mean, people should still be able to keep their benefit as long as they have their recertification done, but the reduction is still going to happen at the same amount for everybody because it's just going back to what it always was.
All right. Now, in her comments, Michele Clark mentioned that she's helping to direct folks to local food pantries. Certainly, that's one very critical resource available that we hear about an awful lot, but there are others as well. If you want to talk to us about the other resources that are available for folks in Aroostook County that are maybe challenged with food insecurity at this time.
Thank you. Yes, we are seeing an increase definitely in people needing more food, more funds for food. And with that, we're seeing an increase in individuals and families that are pregnant or have young children wanting to come back on the WIC program. I think a lot of them had stepped away during. There were quite a few that stepped away during the state of emergency and the pandemic, as there was an additional amount of the food stamp benefits added to their cards. And now they're starting again with the, with the retraction of the additional funds and now rising prices, food, we're starting to see a lot more people coming back, accessing WIC benefits. But with WIC, not only are you accessing WIC benefits, but you're getting so much more. You're getting nutrition education, you're getting, health assessments and that kind of thing. And not only are we seeing the need for the WIC program, but we're also seeing the need, which is also available, is SNAP Ed nutrition education, which helps with budgeting, helping to try to keep those funds within a certain guideline, which is very helpful for all of us during this time, because quite frankly, the dollar doesn't go very far when you're going to the grocery store. But we also have, again, the food pantries that have available foods. We're directing people to community cupboards for additional foods. And local churches have been also helping to provide some of these people and families with access to foods. But the big piece too is not just food, but also trying to connect them with healthy food, which again can, affect lots of different parts of their lives. It helps keep them healthier and able to keep up immunity and whatnot for that, for them and their families. So definitely ACAP is a place where they can reach out for additional resources.
Let's sort of dissect some of those resources that you sort of mentioned and do a deeper dive into them. One of them that you mentioned, obviously, program, Women, Infant, and Children program, that you have been a leader in for decades now with the agency. And it's not the same program that it was certainly when you joined the agency, but not even the same program that it was just a few years ago prior to the pandemic. It's some of the conveniences that have been added, I think, about the way that the benefits are processed and the like, really parents WIC program, or even maybe the WIC program that you had with your first child, if it's been a few years.
Certainly. We've had a few parents come back that hadn't been on for, I think, 3 or 4 years, and now having another baby, and they're very shocked to see that the whole idea of WIC has really changed. Not only have there been the addition of many healthy foods, and food types added as WIC approved foods, but just the whole way of accessing the benefit of the foods has changed with the transition to the eWIC cards, which makes shopping much more discreet and convenient. You can go to the store now, and if you have the benefits on and they just got loaded on, and all you want and need that particular day is a gallon of milk, you can do that. Whereas before, you had to use the voucher that we gave them and get every item that was listed or lose it. So the convenience is certainly there. There are not too many families that have room for 3 gallons of milk in their fridge, but that doesn't happen anymore. Not only that, is when you go to the grocery store now, you go to a WIC designated store, you slide your card and it takes the benefits off, which is so different than having to present them with the WIC voucher of years ago. So we really have really stepped up our game and making things convenient and easy for participants. And that would just be the WIC program itself. The additional piece with the WIC program that we also have done in the past was the WIC Farmers Market benefits. And again, that has gone electronic, so you don't have to have that voucher anymore. It's just having a QR code on your phone that will allow you to access those benefits, which it just makes things so much easier and convenient for young families, because the less you have to remember to bring with you, the better off you are.
And Rachelle, that's really convenient because you really do bring the program to different regions of the county. So it's not folks that are thinking, gosh, I live in Fort Kent, and if I sign up for the WIC program, I'm going to have to drive to Presque Isle for appointments. That's not the case, is it?
No, we travel from Fort Kent, Madawaska, all the way south to Holton. So, and we're in Holton multiple times a month. So it's really great. And we're looking forward to what's to come with ACAP and our mobile unit as well, because that may be able to help us meet some community outreach ideas that we have coming. So good stuff coming, definitely.
Indeed. Michele, when Rachelle talks about the WIC program, I know that you work with specifically in early care and education settings, Kiley as well, are families that are oftentimes eligible for WIC services. And a big part of the work that you do, both of you do, is to connect folks with those other services to make sure in a crisis situation, so that then you can work with them on other things like helping them to gain employment, making sure their children are in a quality educational environment. So how are you helping to network your families at this particular time? As you mentioned earlier, Michele, with food resources and other available resources that maybe help offset other expenditures in their household that they couldn't otherwise afford.
Well, we make sure that we have a current income statement from them. That way there we know what they're eligible for before we even send off their referrals. Like Rachelle said, now that the benefits have been reduced, more people will be heading back towards WIC. Whereas before, anytime I brought it up, they're like, oh no, we get enough in SNAP benefits now. We don't need it, which is changing. And we refer them to our heating assistants. Kiley and I also do the workforce development, so we can assist them there as well, which would better them for supporting themselves without the SNAP benefits as well.
Yeah, and that's true, Kiley, in some of that workforce development work that you and Michele are able to do now with customers. There are other services that you can connect them with. For example, if you're supporting somebody going to Northern Maine Community Education, I talked about that a bit in my workforce slide, that you can help support childcare and other things.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we can help support with that. Car repairs, travel to and from school, books and supplies. If it's a job that they got, we can help with clothes for that job if they need a certain outfit or uniform. There's eye care, I think, dental too. There's a lot of things that we can help.
So I think, Rachelle, it's important that we understand that through that networking and that basket of programs that we do offer and connections with other community agencies, that the issue may be food insecurity. We may be able to get you into the WIC program, but oftentimes it's about sort of challenges and concerns that the household may be facing that may free up some resources to be able to help pay for a little bit more at the grocery store or things of that nature.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, what we do with providing these food benefits certainly allows for other things, but it's also reverse as well, where, we are also totally connecting all our participants with multiple resources within the agency and outside. Many are seeking us and they build the relationship with us, and then are able to disclose, that they may need workforce, they might need help with tuition, they may need transportation. And we have a great team waiting for them.
Absolutely. Speaking of team, we had on the program not altogether too long ago, Allison Gooding, who's our team member down in Southern Aroostook, who coordinates the SNAP Ed program that you spoke about earlier. Talk a little bit more about that, because it sounds like the relevancy of that program in helping people to get healthy foods on a limited income budget. Our household budget for purchasing food is something that's of critical importance right now.
Yes, I mean, the SNAP Ed program, nutrition education program, is set up to help with educating on what is healthy in your diet, where to find the healthy foods, how to access and even store healthy foods. It's not only teaching adults. She starts with the little ones from 3 years old on up and right up into their senior years. So certainly a great way to stretch the dollar and learn more about what they can do to keep themselves healthy.
I know we don't often take the opportunity to do this on ACAP Today, but I know that we are looking for a team member in Central Aroostook for that SNAP Ed position. So maybe just share briefly what that position entails. And so if there's somebody listening out there who might be interested, we'd certainly welcome an application.
Absolutely. This educator, it's not one of those cookie cutter positions. They do it's certainly a community educator for us. But this person does some classroom work, maybe with the little ones. They sometimes go into grade schools, but they also do a lot of community work. Some may work on a community garden. Some may work with the library on setting up resources. And there may be some work as well with senior citizens population, doing gardening or some kind of event with them on what they can do to stay healthy. So it's certainly a very, like I said, not a cookie cutter position. You'd get to figure out your game plan, and we go from there on teaching nutrition education and healthy activity.
Indeed. All right, last thoughts from each of you now. Michele Clark, I'm going to begin with you. There certainly are resources available, although they're less than they were at the height of the pandemic for food insecurity. What's your message to families out there or individuals, as it may be, that are challenged with food insecurity?
Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. That's what we're here for. We're here to assist in whatever you may need. I tell families that I work with every day, if you need anything, that's what I'm here for.
And Kiley, thank you very much, Michele. Kiley Pelletier, I know that at the location where you work each and every day, there's a small community cupboard that's available for folks. Have you been seeing an uptick in utilization of that since the families have had a cutback in their SNAP benefit?
I don't know if it's gotten busier recently, but it's been pretty busy overall throughout the past year. So there's a lot of food on it right now, though, and it's open. That building's open for anyone to go in until 5 p.m. I think. So, take advantage of that, but definitely reach out to us. We can help. We have vouchers for food. Don't ever go to bed hungry, because we can help.
And Rachelle, Roy, you are at a location primarily, although you travel across Aroostook County, at 771 Main Street near Walmart at ACAP, where there is a 24-hour resource there, both for people to pick up food if they're in an immediate food insecurity issue. It's not meant to be a pantry like a more sustaining across Aroostook County. But it's also a place where folks can, reflecting on our conversation here, make a donation at any point in time, correct?
Absolutely. We see that every day. We have people accessing the community cupboard to not only get help, but to help, which is amazing. We live in a great community, and people are very giving. But more than anything, please reach out, because we're here to help, and all you have to do is come in. Or give us a call and we can go from there. We have a lot of wonderful people here just waiting to help, with any need in the community you might have.
Indeed, that's certainly true. All right, Rachelle, Kiley, haven't talked about, forgotten to talk about, that you wanted to make sure got across to people before we sign off for this week. All right, seeing nods and hearing nothing, I'm going to say that that's not the case, that we don't have anything else. The advice about reaching out to ACAP if you need any assistance or to help us point you in the direction of where you can get some local to you is a great idea, and we encourage you to do that. 43721. You can call your local ACAP office as well if you're in Holton or in Fort Kent, but certainly if you call that number, we can connect you with somebody in your local community anywhere in Aroostook County. And before we leave all of you today, we want to bring you our snapshot of the week, and it comes to us from our Holton Early Care and Education Center and Customer Service Center this week, where members of our team last week on March 21st, which was Mismatched Crazy Sock Day, a day to get a notice and start a conversation about World Down Syndrome Day. And our team members down in Holton, as you can see here, were rocking their mismatched crazy socks of March, and we thank them for being so community involved and for bringing to attention this important cause as we celebrate World Down Syndrome Day. Thank you to our team in Holton. Thank you to our 3 guests on this week's edition of ACAP Today, and thank you to our team members, almost 200 the county, for the great work they do each and every day. We'll be back next week with another edition of ACAP Today. Until then, have a great week, everyone.